All right, welcome to launch day again at Invite Press. We are so excited for our new release, Around the Table with Jesus, a Bible study and devotional for Lent with Mediterranean recipes from our friend Lori Beth Wagner. And Lori, welcome and
Hi.
congratulations on your new book.
Thank you. It's exciting. They just arrived yesterday.
I was going to ask if you'd seen a copy yet.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well, tell us about the book, the devotional with recipes. I mean, this is creative.
Well, yeah, I mean, this actually is something I did years ago. I'm trying to think how many years ago. It might be about 10 years ago. It started as a blog online for Lent, where I was, at the time I had a autoimmune disease that I was battling. And so I was very interested in the Mediterranean diet and trying to be very disciplined. I thought, well, what better time for Lent to kind of get myself on track and get others on track. And so I combined that with, posts about Jesus' journey. And so it was very popular online at that time. And people were kind of joining in and following it each day to see what, I was posting actually for breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day during Lent. And then later on, I put it together as a Bible study, and I taught it a few times. And it was a lot of fun because what I noticed in churches is a lot of times there is a community dinner, but there is no faith aspect to it. Right. And it's wonderful to feed people, but if you're not feeding them spiritually as well, there's a piece missing. So it occurred to me, to put something together that would combine the meal time with the study time. And it has been a lot of fun to do that. So when it came time, after some years to put something out there, this is what came out of it. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to be running the study again in March at the church I'm at for our community. So I'm looking forward to doing it again.
That's very cool. So kind of just a walkthrough with the book. There's several features in the book, more so than your average study. So of course we've mentioned the several weeks that are involved. So 7-week Bible study with recipes built in. So each one of these designed to be done weekly in a group during the Lenten season, walking up to the Passion Week, and designed to actually share it over a meal together.
Yes.
With the recipe built in. And then, but I want to point out also that we also have this devotional that you wrote. So talk a bit about that.
Yeah, well, as I said, that was the first piece, actually. And the Bible study kind of developed second. So, yeah, if people, for church groups, this study is great. But in the back half of the book, you can do this on your own. So it is a devotional. It's a unique devotional in which you feel that you are journeying with Jesus, that he is at your table, and that you are hearing him. You're listening to what's going on in his life and reflecting on your own life as you're doing that. And, so I was picturing having meals. What would it be like to have meals with Jesus there at your table? In the Christian church, we have limited that table time a lot. In the Jewish tradition, a lot of really sacred moments happen in the family around the table. And I wanted to bring that into the Christian faith a bit so that we are thinking about what we're eating and we're embodying as we eat our theology and really spending time relationally with Jesus around food. In our culture, I mean, that's when we bond, usually with other people. It's around food. It's around the table.
That's right.
People probably know that with their kids, right? If you want to really talk, you serve food. Yeah. So it is, it is designed that you could do it for a couple meals a day, or you could do it for 3 meals a day. You could do it for part of Lent. You could do it for all of Lent. So there are various ways that you can use the book to hopefully make that your discipline. So instead of fasting, your discipline is really being in relationship with Jesus every day, having conversations with Jesus and around coffee or food.
I'm really excited about this. I think from the last several months, I've been posting and talking a bit more and more about communities in relationship to publishing, and how I think the future of publishing is more into communities and less about platforming celebrities. So this kind of work is perfect for that shift. We're doing more and more work designed to be consumed or read together, in group settings. I'm really curious about when you did this once before and you're about to do it again here at your new church. What do you anticipate is going to happen when you begin to do this study at your new church here coming up?
Well, I just find people relax more. There's more laughter, but there's also a lot of, contemplation. And I think it can be really moving to imagine, to put yourself for a little while in that imaginary place that you are at these various places where Jesus was, at Martha's house, right? Or in the upper room, or out, by the sea in Capernaum. Like, what's going on around you? What feelings are you having as you listen to what's going on? I always have wondered, what are those conversations around the table that Jesus is having with his disciples? And I know there had to be a lot of conversation about what's going on culturally, especially as he's being targeted. In these last months before the cross. And, what feelings does that evoke? What feelings are evoked when this very expensive oil is drenched all over him? I can almost hear the gasps, right? So I don't think it was just one person who was struggling to understand why you would waste all that money.
Right.
So I think it's good for us to struggle with those questions and allow not only the biblical characters to be very human, but then to humanize our understanding of what it's like to be in that place. I think too often we look at scripture very black and white, and we look at it like, well, this is how we should feel. Well, but how would you really feel if you were in that moment? And what does that mean to be able to work through those feelings and then come out maybe more deeply faithful?
I love that word humanize, and the idea that, of course, you and I both share a passion for the stories of the Bible, the biblical narratives themselves, and the imagination and creativity that we can evoke as we read them. And so that part of the hopefully this, I think, if I can speak for you and speak for myself as publisher about this, is that when people participate in this book, that they will enter into the story in kind of a new way that they have never entered into it before. Kind of see the characters as real people and not just flat 2D people in a book.
Right. So, exactly. Yeah.
That's exciting. Let me mention the Amazon link is what we like to do on launch day. So if you're watching this and want to buy it, we encourage you to go to Amazon and make the purchase there. That's always helpful for our algorithms. The more people buy it on Amazon, then the higher it rises and the more organic and natural exposure it gets to other people. But if you're going to buy it in bulk, this is designed to be used in a study session. So ideally, everybody in the group will have a copy. And if you do that in the study, then the best way to do that for discounts is to go to inviteministries.org, because we have the 10, 20, or 30% discounts, even more if you buy large quantities. So I always like mentioning that on launch day, that there's actually two completely different destinations there, depending on what you want to do with the book. So Lori, big dreams and hopes for this book. As you think about what this might do in the marketplace and for people from a ministry perspective, what would be success for you?
Well, I think that if we can gather more people from our communities and allow them to get a taste of what it's really like to be face to face with Jesus and to be in relationship with Jesus in their lives. I know people are really hungry, and especially right now, I think, people really need that in their lives. And I think a lot of times those people do not. I think this gives an opportunity to do something really different and unique for Lent, and to open it up to entire communities so that they can gather together around tables and really experience like something deep and meaningful that could change their lives.
That was great. What a great last word. So, Around the Table with Jesus, I have to look at the subtitle, A Bible Study and Devotional for Lent with Mediterranean Recipes by my friend, Dr. Lori Beth Wagner. Lori, congratulations. And
Thank
we
you.
will see what this book does for the kingdom around the table of Jesus. Happy launch day.
Thank you.